In the mid-1960s, the future of India's nuclear ambitions rested on the shoulders of one man. Dr. Homi Bhabha was a pioneer in quantum physics who worked alongside legends like Niels Bohr, and he was now building the scientific framework for the nation's first atomic bomb. The pressure on Bhabha was immense. In 1964, China detonated its first atomic weapon, sending a wave of anxiety across Asia. In response, Bhabha went on public radio and made a specific calculation. If the government gave him the order, India could have its own nuclear bomb ready in exactly 18 months. It took months of persuasion, but Bhabha finally broke through the pacifist leanings of the government. In December 1965, Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri quietly gave Bhabha the official authorization to accelerate the nuclear testing preparations. The 18-month clock had started. Then, the political foundation collapsed. On January 11, 1966, mere weeks after authorizing the bomb, Prime Minister Shastri died suddenly from a reported heart attack while negotiating a peace treaty in Tashkent. The country was still mourning when the second blow landed exactly 13 days later. Bhabha boarded Air India Flight 101 for a meeting in Vienna. At 7:04 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, as the Boeing 707 approached the French-Italian border, it vanished from air traffic control radar. The aircraft struck the face of Mont Blanc, the highest peak in Western Europe. The impact carved a massive crater into the ice. Rescue teams arrived to find terrible blizzard conditions, forcing them to abandon the search after a single day. No bodies, no recognizable wreckage, and no black box were ever recovered. The two men who held the entire blueprint for India's secret nuclear ambitions died within a fortnight of each other. Because the program was highly classified, no files existed detailing their private agreements. That sudden, complete silence left a vacuum, and international conspiracy theories quickly rushed in to fill it. For decades, a rumor circulated that the CIA had planted a bomb in the cargo hold of Flight 101, deliberately assassinating Homi Bhabha. The motive seemed obvious. The United States was actively pushing the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty in Geneva, attempting to lock the number of nuclear-armed nations exactly where it was. An Indian bomb would disrupt the entire treaty, likely triggering Pakistan and other nations to build their own arsenals. As the glacier on Mont Blanc slowly melted over the decades, a different theory emerged. Amateur investigators scavenging the ice claimed they found physical proof that Bhabha was silenced by a mid-air collision. They argued that the Air India flight collided with an American-made F-104G starfighter jet. According to this narrative, the fighter was conducting secret reconnaissance on French military installations and had shut off its transponder, the device that broadcasts a plane's location, making it completely invisible to the commercial airliner. To support this, wreckage hunters displayed twisted metal panels found in the snow, clearly stamped with the letters USAF, United States Air Force. These specific claims of invisible fighter jets and secret assassinations rely on a series of alleged physical clues found on the glacier, but under scrutiny, the evidence behind them fails to hold up. The CIA bomb story stems almost entirely from a 2008 book, claiming to feature a deathbed confession from an intelligence officer. Historical researchers later proved the author was actually Peter Stahl, a known fraudster, who spent his career fabricating fake Nazi memorabilia and forging government documents. The mid-air collision theory fares no better. An extensive review of Italian and French military archives shows absolutely no record of a starfighter jet going down anywhere near Mont Blanc in January 1966. The actual cause is documented in the original 1967 French Inquiry Commission report. It outlines a far more mundane yet devastating sequence of small, compounding human and mechanical errors. Look at this flight path diagram. Right after taking off from its previous stop in Beirut, the aircraft's VOR system failed. VOR is a radio navigation tool that tells the pilot their exact geographic coordinates. Without it, the crew had to rely on manual, imprecise estimates to figure out where they were in the sky. As they approached the Alps at 19,000 feet, the pilot radioed Geneva Control, stating they were passing Mont Blanc. The air traffic controller immediately corrected him, warning the crew that they still had 5 miles remaining before they cleared the mountain peak. The pilot responded with a simple "Roger," but he completely misunderstood the correction. Believing he had already crossed the jagged summit, he initiated the plane's descent. This navigational mistake met a lethal weather condition. The peak of Mont Blanc was engulfed in a severe whiteout storm. With heavy cloud cover blending perfectly into the snow-covered slopes, the flight crew had no visual horizon. They couldn't see the rock face until they hid. The evidence points away from an orchestrated geopolitical assassination. Homi Bhabha and the 116 other people on board died because of a faulty radio compass and a single misunderstood sentence. The loss of Bhabha's scientific leadership and Shastri's political backing turned a promised 18-month sprint into a decades-long delay. The immediate path to a nuclear test had been erased in a single morning. Yet the initiative survived through the sheer institutional momentum Bhabha had built. Prime Minister Indira Gandhi picked up the mantle, and in 1974, India successfully conducted its first nuclear test. It took until 1998, 32 years after the crash on Mont Blanc, for the country to finally achieve Bhabha's ultimate vision of possessing a fully weaponized nuclear deterrent. Today, his legacy sits at the core of the state's infrastructure. India is one of 9 countries with nuclear weapons, and it operates 25 active reactors that provide a growing share of the nation's civilian electricity grid. A broken navigation dial and a winter storm did what international pressure could not. It stalled the rise of a superpower and took its brightest scientific mind. But the foundation he poured was too deep to shatter.